started. Thanks everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Jain Irrigation Training Series. And today we're talking about one of my favorite events of the year, and that is the World Ag Expo in Tulare, California. That's going to be happening here in a couple weeks. And I got to tell you, one of the reasons why I like it so much, it's not just all the cool irrigation stuff that you see there, but and Jain will be there again this year. And we're excited. We're going to give you an opportunity to meet our water management consulting services team. You can look at our Jain Unity and our Jain Logic software that does actual irrigation automation for growers and landscape as well. Corey Broad's going to do a whole thing on maintenance for irrigation. We've got filter station, and we've got some other cool live sprinkler demos. But in addition to all that, and some of the other reasons why I do really like the show is I can't think of a better place to go and see everything you want to learn about in one place. I can learn about fertilizers, soils, compost, tractors, dairy stuff. I mean, it's really amazing everything there is to see. So if you love ag, this is the place to be here in a few weeks. And helping us learn about the show today is Jennifer Fawkes. And she's the marketing manager at the International Agri-Center. Jennifer grew up in the Central Valley. She played sports in the Central Valley, go Fresno Force. She went to St. Mary's College up in the Bay Area, and she's back in the Central Valley, and she has been back for a while now, since 2016 at the International Ag Center. And I just, I was talking to her earlier, and I just can't imagine the job she has to do and what she has to manage to prepare for what's about to happen. And I was saying, I think I saw on social media the other day, she said, if you haven't heard from me in about 7 weeks, it's because it's World Ag time. Don't worry, I'm just busy. But the thing that really struck me was two things about Jennifer. Last year, when we were shut down because of COVID, she still wanted to deliver something to all of us that wanted to educate on ag. And she put together a virtual show that was just great. And then this year, she's going back live. And I think that's really exciting because I want to see everybody. And but, we were talking, she was talking about the safety and how much that matters to her and everybody else, making sure that we're safe. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today as well. But anyway, Jennifer, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so much. And yeah, I'm glad to be back. And I will say that thank you for so much credit for me, but I will say, of course, I think we all know that the only way the people that can have, a minute to come on and talk is because we have great teams that we work with. And oh my goodness, I am just so blessed to be here and work with the team I work with, not just our everyday staff, but our volunteers. I actually was, when we were talking before, my parents are both volunteers. They're out here helping today. I'm like, I got to kick you guys out of the office. Unless you're going to be silent, I got to get you out of here. But yeah, we have folks open, the ground's open Monday for outdoor exhibitors, and it's going to get even crazier.
Yeah. So Jennifer, how is it this year? How does this compare to like last year? And are you getting a lot of participation?
Yeah, we are. I was looking at stats. The great thing, our exhibitors are amazing. So we're sitting at 96% sold. And for coming through COVID and just, right now there's, the numbers are up a little bit, maybe a little more than a little bit just on Omicron, but, we're looking good. People are excited to be here. We're outdoors, which really makes a huge difference. And so, yeah, we're very excited. Exhibitors are calling every day, checking on things, making sure they have everything in. But that 96%, just to qualify, that is about 1,250 exhibitors. And if you look at all my press releases year over year, normally we're at about 1,400. We actually eliminated a pavilion for this year, which held about 75 exhibitors, and it became a spot for one exhibitor. So we've definitely changed just some of the style. And it's in a reaction to what exhibitors are asking for.
So, well, that's really cool. Now, I did, before we get to this year, I did want to talk about last year for a second. It was a virtual show. I learned so much, right? Lots of presentations that I was able to watch, and they were really good. And then they stayed on all year, right? So if I wanted to replay or, relearn something I watched, I could do it. Is that happening this year as well?
Sure. So yeah, as many of you know, our digital show was the first time we did it. So thank goodness it went well. We had over 200 sessions throughout the year, and it was pretty amazing. So this year, of course, our sessions will be live, and we will not be streaming them during the week of the show. So please, if you really want to talk to these speakers, want to see everything you have to say, and you are able to come, please do. But of course, we will be recording them. We just want to have an opportunity. We know it's still it's not normal like what we're used to. It's a bit of a strange time. So even if you're not able to come, we do want to encourage people that if they're not feeling well, if they have a fever, please stay home. Please, when it comes to germs, sharing is not caring. So please take that opportunity to stay home. We will be recording those sessions. And once we have all the sign-offs from all of our seminar speakers, we'll load all the ones that were released to use and make that available to our attendees, because we always want ag to do more and do better. And that only happens when we have education. They really get to connect and network with great exhibitors and universities and everybody that has great information.
Yeah, that's great, Jennifer. And, I know you guys spend a lot of time every year, not just this year, but every year about safety, right? This is a big thing, 100,000 people in one area. You got to talk about safety, but extra steps this year. Tell us a little bit about the extra steps you've taken, and in general, what you do every year for safety.
Yeah. Well, and one thing, so every year we are always meeting with with Homeland Security, FBI, local law enforcement, everybody that needs to be involved in something like this. And actually, we just spent the last 3 days, we had our volunteer meetings. And so we get our volunteers in groups and we go over that emergency plan. It's the thing we never want to use, but we've got to be prepared in case something does happen. And so we let them know, of course, we don't talk about everything because we don't want to give it all away, but we talk about what happens if there's a fire, there's, someone drives through a fence, or, anything like that. There's a riot. Those are all the things we go over: how to evacuate, where to evacuate, who's in charge, all the communications. I have the art, like on social media, if the grounds are closed, we have art that goes up. That way we can let people know. Those are things we do every single year. They're super important. The last major update on safety that we had was for 2020 because of the Gilroy Garlic Festival shooting. You will see, when you're at the show, you will see police officers on the grounds. That's a normal for us. You might see some police dogs, but you will also see law enforcement with long guns. And they learned some things that handguns didn't end situations soon enough at a large event because of Gilroy. So it might look a little strange to some people, but it's important. It's really about keeping everyone safe. But as far as COVID, that is really the big next thing. Now we're talking biohazards, and we got to be careful about that all the time. We've had this for livestock producers in the past at the show, where it was a wash in, wash out situation. We didn't want to cross contaminate things. So we've done it before. Now we've got to really focus on humans. So really, it's following the California Department of Public Health standards. We're an outdoor show, so we're following the requirements. Those requirements are that we, of course, have masks available, and that the California Department of Health requires that folks wear masks indoors. I will let you know, though, we're talk to our volunteers and everyone on our team. We're not looking to fight about it. Okay, please, keep yourself safe, keep everyone around you safe, do what makes sense. But I don't know everyone's health situation. Let's just be smart. So first thing first, if you're ill, please don't come. We don't need to share that. Once you're here, though, outdoors, masks are not required. If you'd like to wear one, because it does get dusty here sometimes. Sometimes people are wearing a covering just for that. Please go for it. Do what you need to do to keep yourself safe. When you're heading into a building, though, we will have masks and hand sanitizer available. We really want to make sure everyone has that choice of how to keep themselves safe.
Yeah, that's really great and important to talk about. And, starting our webinar off with this, right? It's not the most pleasant subject to talk about, but it had to be addressed. And this is the stuff that people don't want to think about necessarily. But I was so impressed with the time you and your team took to really address this that I did want to talk about and give you the opportunity.
Yeah, well, and we always figure we've got to be good hosts. We're inviting people over to what is essentially our house. We've got to think about a lot of different situations and make sure we have options for people, because we don't know what they're going to need. But I'm also not a fan of forcing people to do things that may not make sense for them either. So we've got to do our best for as many people as possible and encourage that safety. The first thing is, if you are ill, it's not your job to come to the show this year.
Okay, great. Well, let's talk about something a little bit more fun. And that's the, let's talk about the hashtags for social media, right?
Yes.
The expo is such a great place to take photos and share on the web, right? That, and we want to get in that community. I know there's different hashtags out there. Which ones do you want us using?
Well, so the one we always quote is hashtag WAE22. It helps us and everybody else see what year it was. It is kind of fun though that we found that WAE stands for some other things. Some of them are not quite on brand for us, but they're not bad. So hashtag World Ag Expo is great too. I look at hashtag farm show because guess what? We're a farm show and we're a farm show in Tulare. But yeah, we are World Ag Expo. So if you get that on there, we usually find stuff. We sometimes comment back. We're very, we like our gifts. So we might be a little sarcastic with you. We're just having fun. But yeah, we loved it. That's the way I find out what happened at our show. Like after the show's over is I'm looking at social media. I'm looking at YouTube and seeing people have so much fun. I discovered how many views hashtag World Ag Expo has on TikTok.
Right.
You know, I mean, people are having a great time and that is fantastic. They're learning, they're seeing cool things and they're sharing it. We really love it.
Right. So hashtag WAE22, hashtag farm show, or hashtag World Ag Expo.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. We'll be using all of them. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of us have been to the show many times and some are new. For those of us who haven't been that often or are new, how do you recommend we get the most out of the show?
Ooh, that's a good question. So there's a couple things to navigate the show. If you want to plan ahead, which especially if you haven't been, I really encourage. So our app is going to come out end of next week. So if you've been to the show before and you have the 2020 app, it will auto update. So it'll just run the update. It'll go to 22 and you can start searching. You can also go online right now on your desktop if you want. You can set up a free profile so you can save people to your My Show Planner. And once you log in both the app and online, all your information flows to both. So that way you can know who you want to see. But I would really say that if you know your content area, if you're a dairy person, and do not start at gate 2 and hope you'll walk all the way down to dairy, take a look at that map. And really, if you go on our website, you go to the attendee page, scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page. And that's where we have links to a whole separate show site that you can search exhibitors by keywords. You can look up seminars. You can look at the interactive maps. Really helps you navigate. But you can look up those people you want to see and start planning. Keep in mind that on the east end of the grounds, you are going to find dairy and livestock. And this year, actual livestock. There will be cows. There will be, we're supposed to have sheep and goats as well. And there's going to be demos out there just east of Farm Credit Dairy Center every day. So check those out. But if you're in irrigation and water, as you well know, Richard, you guys are going to be more on the northwest side of the grounds, right around Pavilion B. B as in boy, that is our irrigation and water tent. And then outside, all around it, you're going to find irrigation, pumps, water. So you just want to get an idea of where those different exhibitors are so that you can definitely maximize your time.
Yeah, and we're going to be in K25 and 27 right next door. So that's where everybody can find us. So then this is how we find out and map ourselves, right, for our day, right? Because there's so much to see and maybe we want to go out there multiple days, right? Because to take it all in, it really will take more than one day.
Yep.
And what about the seminars? There's so much good education. How do I learn about that?
So that is also online. So, and I will say too that we still have folks out there that really want to hold something in their hands and they might want to write on it. We do have that option. When you get to the grounds, grab a show guide and we make sure we actually put it on paper that you can write on. It's not like the slick stock. So if you want to take notes, if you want to check off people that you've seen, you can do that as well. But our seminars are listed in that show guide and online. So if you go online or in the app, you can actually, when you search by keyword, it's going to come up with exhibitors. It's going to come up with sessions. So if you search irrigation, you're going to get lists of exhibitors, seminars, special events, anything that is related to that keyword. It's as long as it's listed in the description, it's going to come up. And those seminars, we've got some great tracks. If you go into those sessions this year and look at the different tracks, we've got stuff for ag teachers. Fresno State did a cool job this year that they've got like at least four different sessions specifically for ag teachers. We've got professional development. If you're looking for more of the business side, not just that production side, but some of that the really exciting office work side of the business, we've got a lot of options for that too this year. So really look at those seminars and plan where you need to see what you need to see and who you need to talk to.
Yeah, and I think I saw electric tractors this year. Is that right?
Yes. So that's going to change. Just a quick update. We did, unfortunately, we all know too that with COVID, there's going to be some companies that are not letting people come or changing what they're doing. So our top 10 winners, Solectrac will be here. Their tractor is driving. It'll be driving in their space, and they're also going to be pulling one of our trams. So we're going to do some real world testing to make sure that their claims really that the tractor does hold up by pulling one of our trams and being on the grounds and driving throughout the show. So yeah, definitely check out Solectrac is actually in a demo space. And that was, we were talking, earlier where our total number of exhibitors is down a little bit, but it's because more people wanted demo space this year. Solectrac is one of them. So they need that bigger space. We also, so like Toyota was always on the east side of the grounds. They've moved to the west side. Fendt tractor, you can actually get in and drive a tractor around this year is where Toyota used to be. So we have some, some new different demos and ride and drives.
Yeah, it's really cool. It sounds really fun. I bet a lot of people take advantage of that. Now, what else is new this year for the show?
Oh man, I would say robots, for sure. There's so much. Top 10 was crazy this year because there was a lot more people that are working in that space with automation and assistive technology. It was more dense with those options, and you should check out some of the people that didn't win. Carbon Robotics is one of them. So we have at least two different companies at the show that are, so Nio and Carbon both have robotic solutions really focused on like salinous area type of crops with vegetables and row crops focused on weeding. So they're going to have basically robots that they're demonstrating. It's just different and exciting. We also have, and now I say it this way because somebody pointed out to me that we have a robot that has targeting capabilities and it's autonomous. And maybe this is the beginning of the end. I didn't think about it at the time. One of our top 10 winners actually drives through an almond orchard and shoots mummies. So it targets them and shoots them with a biodegradable pellet. They will be, I don't think they're doing an actual shooting gallery, but now that I think about it, we should have recommended that because that would be fun. But the robot will be demonstrating their targeting and their shooting capabilities.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. I've seen these robots, right? When I think robot, I think I'm going to see somebody walking, right? But I can see these robot weeders that are so cool, and they look more like Zamboni going across the ice, but it's got these cutters that actually cut the weeds out. It's fascinating stuff to see.
It's so cool, and a lot of tracked things because they're really thinking about when you're out in a field. You can't just have a wheel that might get stuck. Like you need a little more flat, you got to watch out for puddles and all the stuff. So it's interesting to see what people are thinking of. A lot of handheld technology too. We had some great on the top 10, some apps and just so many different things that are helping people be organized, really worried about the amount of labor strains that we're having and how much can be automated. Burrow is another great one. It's basically an automated platform, but it's really looking out for the health of our field workers. All those repetitive tasks like that wears down your body, and that's never good for anyone. So really looking at how do we assist people to have longevity and also just assist and not take away a job, but improve a job.
Yeah, I love the burrow. I saw it like 4 years ago at Western Growers. And when they said it follows you around like a dog, that just stuck with me. And it sure does. This tray follows you, you unload your stuff on it, and pretty soon it goes back and unloads.
Yeah, they've really been working on that. And they finally, this last summer is when they were ready actually to go to market. So when you say you've seen them, like people sometimes ask, well, wait a minute, how are they new? And it's like, well, they're actually on the market now. Like it's different now. So, and of course, Gus is back. They have a mini Gus now for automated spraying. So just so much automation and electric. We have an electric tractor and an electric refrigeration truck that are also in the top 10. Lots of new technology, some of it that's still understanding, especially when we talk electric, the longevity of a battery, because an ag workday is not 8 hours. It's far more than that. But it's interesting to see what the possibilities are becoming and then how we prove it out to make sure it really works for realistic real world scenarios.
Right. I always say the ag day is not 9 to 5, it's 5 to 9, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, listen, anything else we should be looking for, Jennifer?
I would really encourage everyone, if you want to avoid lines at the gate, buy your tickets online now. You can just head over there, and I will tell you that discounts are only available online. I mean, our tickets, it's not like they're really cost prohibitive, but if you want $3 off each of your general admission tickets, just punch in IAC22 in that discount code area. That'll get you $3 off each ticket you purchase. And just head over to worldagexpo.com and click on the buy tickets link in the top right. And remember, we have ag tours. We're going to have things going on the grounds every day. And come on, the food at World Ag Expo. We didn't even talk about the food, but we've got all of our nonprofits back, and they've just been chomping at the bit to be back and have an opportunity to fundraise. And I'm looking forward to some cobbler and some pasta and lots of meat, like just lots of opportunities to eat. Will be fun. And then if you have a chance, buy a ticket to buy that Toyota Tundra and help out Valley Children's.
So. Yeah, really glad you mentioned that. That's a really nice thing to do. So listen, thank you so much for coming on with us today. I really appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody in a few weeks at the World Ag Expo. And gosh, hope you have a great weekend. Hope you get some rest. I know you're going to be working most of it, but I hope you do get some rest.
Okay, thank you.
So, all right. Well, listen, thank you everybody for attending today. We really appreciate that. Look forward to seeing all of you out there in a few weeks. And remember, all our trainings are at jainsusa.com/training. So you can see us there. We're also wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. So we look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks again, and have a nice weekend, everybody. Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you.